Welcome to another Teacher Talk session tonight. And tonight we are going to have our 73rd session. Yes, it's really important and meaningful for us, and especially for me also. And tonight, as usual, you know that every week we have a different educator or teacher trainer or or teachers from different part of the world. And tonight we are also having another teacher from again different part of the world as usual. And this time our guest is from Romania, and her name is Marina Carmen Özer, and she's an English teacher. When she comes, I think she's here. Yes, we are going to start our live session. All right, so let me invite her, and then we can start our live session with her. Yes, I'm waiting for her. Yes, there she is.
Hey.
All right. Hello, Marina.
Hello. And
It's nice to see you. It's great to see you.
thank you for having me this evening today. Thank you. I'm really honored. I'm also nervous and excited and all the feelings that you have when you do something for the first time.
Yes.
But more importantly, I'm really honored and grateful for being here. And thank you for these beautiful lives and for this initiative of bringing teachers together. Because I've watched some of your lives together along the time. I wish I had more time to watch all of them, because I'm aware and I know that by listening to other teachers, we can learn more, and it helps us do better, become better. So
I see. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, before starting our live sessions, Marina, I would like to say thank you to join Teacher Talks 73, by the way.
73.
This is the 73rd.
Okay, let's...
Yes, 73rd week of Teacher Talks and session, by the way. And I'm sure that we are going to have a really nice and fruitful session with you tonight. Okay, then. And if you're ready, we can start. Okay, then. So I know about you, but maybe our listeners would like to know about you, Marina. So can you tell us about yourself, please, and a bit about your experiences too?
Okay, let's start with, as you already introduced me, I'm from Romania, from that part of the world, from the Romanian part of the world. But I've been living in Istanbul, Turkey for the last almost 9 years, 8 years plus. Yeah. So, and actually it's Turkey, it's Istanbul, the city, the country that made me an English teacher. Why am I saying this? Because I graduated from the Faculty of Letters, English language, in 2008 in Romania. Why? Just because I was in love with the language, the English language, with the culture, with the way it sounds, with the opportunities I thought at that age it brought me. But I wasn't actually thinking about teaching. I just went to that university just because I love the language. And in my second year of university, I started working for an international corporation in Bucharest. It was a fast-growing corporation. I was growing also during the years I worked there. I wasn't teaching English, but I was using English for business purposes. So English was the only language I could say we were speaking in the corporations. And I got the chance to work with people from around the world in Romania and Bucharest, Turkish people, German, French people, Croatian. And as you can imagine already, the only language we could all speak
I can.
so that we can understand was English. So that's when I actually started to really use language for a real purpose in life.
I see.
And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and then I kept working for that company for 5 years. Then I went to another international company. The same story. The only language used there was English. I wasn't teaching English again, but I was using it all the time. And when did I finally start teaching English? When I came to Turkey. And why did I come to Turkey? Because I fell in love with a Turkish man, and
Nice.
a long time he gained my trust also. So after a long thinking process, I finally took the step and came here in Istanbul, Turkey. And where I was thinking, what could I do? What could I do? I wasn't teaching was the last that came to me, actually. And it should have been the first, because that's what I graduated from. That's what my job was, according to the university, to the diploma. But I didn't have any teaching experience. And I was thinking, oh my God, how my husband is actually the one that suggested me, why aren't you teaching? You're an English teacher. Here in Turkey, there is a great need for learning English, the English language.
Yes.
And I was a little reluctant. And then I was doubting myself a lot, because I have to check and double check and check again and check again. Am I really able to do something? Can I really do it? Do I really want to do it before taking the step, before taking the first step? And after I've been thinking about this, I said, okay, let's start thinking. Let's start searching.
Yeah, you should start from some point. Yeah.
Yes, let's start teaching for who would be able, who will be willing, who would be willing. I was asking myself at those times to teach an English teacher who has never taught English and who has just business corporation experience on her CV, and yes, a diploma for teaching. But I was not really relying on that diploma. I knew that it wasn't going to help me much in this career. And I started teaching for language schools. It's 1 year, I think, I was teaching like that for different levels, different purposes. Then when I gained more confidence, because before I start something, I always test myself and train myself a lot so that I can feel ready to apply for something. If I'm the worst critic of myself. Nobody can criticize me worse than I criticize myself already, and double check. And so I started then. When I gained enough courage, I applied for teaching jobs in private colleges in Istanbul, and I had been teaching in 2 different colleges, private colleges. I'm not saying the names, right? Not saying.
No, if you want, you can say, not a problem.
It's 2 of them, and for how many years? Almost 5 years together, combined 5 years together. And I stopped teaching for private colleges. Here comes another turning point in my life and career, which was actually not a twisting one, because they support each other. I was working for corporations, not teaching English, but I was using English. So English has always been in my life. I came here in Turkey, I've started teaching English. Now I stopped teaching for private colleges, but I continued teaching English with all my passion, which I had discovered online. I'm teaching English online nowadays. And I'm trying to build my own English teaching business to become an independent English teacher and freelancer.
Wonderful.
And I'm sharing this journey on this account, Marina Carmen account. And as an English teacher, I have recently, together with my friend Nelly, we have recently launched an Instagram account dedicated to Turkish adults who are interested in learning English or developing their English for all levels. But we are just at the very beginning, and slowly, but in a sustainable way, building.
I see. I see. But what you can say the account name. So what's the new the account name that you
Dedicated
started?
to English learning for Turkey.
No, the name of the name.
The name. Nel English.
Marnell
Marina,
English.
Nel, Nelly, English.
I see.
So
Marnell English. All right.
yeah, we've just launched it 1 week ago. And how did it come up? How did we come up with this project, which is part of a business? This Instagram account is just a part of the window, for example.
I see.
It's while I was working on sharing my learnings, my struggles with teachers on this account, I realized that I was trying to create a course a course dedicated to teachers on how to create a course for English learners. And I was studying and researching and doing a lot of work behind the scenes. And at that point, I had an insight. Why am I doing it? Why am I not doing it myself? I'm an English teacher. I love teaching. I have everything it takes to create a course, to teach it the way I'm trying to help teachers to become more empowered and to gain their freedom and to become more and more independent. And that's when I had that insight. And I was thinking, okay, at some point I will try to make another English account, another website, projects, courses, everything that comes along with. And at about 1 month after I had this insight, my friend, who happens to be we met while we were working in one of the last schools together. We really had a very beautiful chemistry together over those years. We were working together. We were colleagues, immediately turned into friends, and now partners, projects. She called me and she suggested to make this project together, teaching, and it was just, I strongly believe that the universe just sustains you when you are clear on your intentions and clear and clean on your intentions. And
I see. I understand. Thank you, Marina. About the info that you gave is really wonderful. About just the experiences you have, about the things that you have done so far, and creating a new Instagram account for the people who wants to learn English. They can easily join and get help from you. All right. And would you like to add anything else, or can I move on another question?
May I just confess something?
Sure.
I have written totally different things for these questions. And what I wrote sums up in maximum 5 lines here. 5 lines here.
No problem.
I ended up speaking about. So please.
No problem.
Is there any button when, Marina, you went another direction?
It's okay, no problem, Marina.
Okay.
And so let's move to the the question, which is about your turning points. But you mentioned some of them. But what was or were your turning points in your own education or point?
Okay, first let's start with the first one, which was not kind of a turning point. The first one, let's say, it was in high school. When, as I mentioned before, I strongly fell in love with the English language, not with teaching at that point. I was not really aware about teaching, but with the English language as a subject, as a language. I just wanted to learn more and more about it, not just to be able to speak English. And then it was the second turning point. It happened in my second year of university, when I wanted financial freedom. I no longer wanted to depend on my parents' salaries, or I just wanted to earn my own money as soon as possible.
I see.
I didn't know at that time, little did I know at that time, that financial freedom, which was not really financial freedom, but I wanted my own salary, I didn't know that it was to come with lots of other responsibilities and challenges and struggles, which right now I'm extremely grateful for them. And here I'm mentioning about my experience in those corporations that have helped me a lot grow professionally, interact with people from different countries, different environments, and it has helped me a lot having that experience for 7 years. And I've actually started it at a very young age. I was both studying, because I was in my second year of university when I started, and while I was working full-time for corporations, I've also graduated successfully from the university.
Great,
so
great.
I was doing both things at the same
Wonderful.
time. And then as I kind of had my financial freedom, or at least let's not say freedom, is too much say freedom. I'm trying to gain it now.
It's okay.
My independence, let's say. I was thinking, to make a management career. That's when I had my master in management and marketing, 2-year masters. And then a Turkish guy just came and mixed all my plans, and suddenly things changed. And I gave up on all the career I was building there in that corporation. Came to Turkey, and yes, it's here in Turkey when I fell in love with English teaching, as I mentioned before. So the love I have, my love for my husband, has brought me my love for English teaching.
Yes, it's a very wonderful adventure for you. I'm sure that you had a really wonderful adventure about it.
Yeah.
Great. Sure. Would you like to add anything else? No, that's all. Okay, so thank you very much for
the three main turning points.
I see. It's a wonderful, and thank you very much for sharing that turning points with us.
My love
Marina.
for English language, my love for business and management, and my love for teaching now.
Yeah, I see. It's wonderful. Thank you very much. So, according to your experiences, when you think about your experiences, so what is your philosophy of teaching?
I wish I had one. I wish I had my own philosophy, but I haven't found it yet. I can say just that I feel attracted to those philosophies that tend to empower the learner, both the learner and the teacher. I mean, how could they empower the teacher? Giving the teacher more freedom to create materials, to adapt the lessons to the teachers, to the students' needs. Not to be limited and forced to teach following a format, a predefined format. And also I feel very attracted by those approaches, strategies, teaching philosophies that tend to engage learners more and more, that try to relate the lessons to the learners. Preferences, goals, interests, to their learning styles. And those kinds of approaches that stimulates the brain, stimulates students' curiosity, creativity, that allow them enough practice with the language, and that are not that strict when it comes about mistakes, that are very, very careful with the way mistakes are treated, corrected, and allowed the learner to make mistakes for at the stages when they are still experimenting with the language. Because I strongly believe that it's by making mistakes that we are actually learning, because you can't do something for the first time without really trying and stumbling.
Exactly.
And you can't do it perfectly. And especially learning a language, it's not that easy. It implies much more than just grammar, rules, vocabulary. It's also something emotional there, some connections that you have to make. Practice there's a lot behind.
I see. I see. Thank you very much about the philosophy, and I agree with you that about, yes, definitely learning a language is not an easy thing to do. So actually, we learn by our mistakes. So it means that making mistake. If you make a mistake, it means that you are trying to learn. Yes. So
Exactly.
it's good to do that. Anyway, thank you, Marina. All right then. So I was going to ask you about how about your becoming English teacher, but you have already
Yeah.
talked about how did you do it. And now I would like to ask you another question about online teaching. So as we know that we have been, you know, facing a kind of a, you know, the not kind of a bad times by COVID-19, and actually we have been using, I mean, like the online teaching for a long time. Before the COVID, we already used the online teaching and distance education, but after the COVID-19, we started to use more and more. So my question is going to be related with online teaching. So what's the best and the worst thing about online teaching for you?
Okay, the best one is that um, it's the flexibility it gives us, and it's the flexibility in terms of when and where from to connect
Mm-hmm.
with your students. Let's say with your students, because we are speaking as teachers now, right?
Yes.
You can keep your lessons from the comfort of your own home, for example. Um, and you can also connect with, you are not limited in terms of distance. You can teach from Istanbul, Turkey, students who maybe couldn't have joined your classroom, your lessons physically. They might be from thousands of kilometers or even 100 kilometers away of.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's flexibility, one of the best things that.
I see. Mm-hmm. And what about the worst thing?
The worst thing, sometimes it's not, I wouldn't say it really the worst, but it's something still that technology can't replace it. It's real human interaction.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing can ever replace that one, even though nowadays social media technology, it's like our second nature.
I see.
Still we need sometimes some moments to disconnect, switch off,
Uh-huh.
turn off, and interact as real human beings.
I see. I see. Thank you. Thank you very much, Marina, about your answer. So my next question is again related to the teaching. So what what do you feel are the most challenging aspects of teaching?
Um, yeah, I was trying to remember what it's
No
kind of
problem, of course.
um,
Mm-hmm.
what what I wrote here, and because when you are asking me, I kind of find other answers or different answers in my mind. Which one should I stick with? Uh,
No problem.
yeah,
Which one you want?
all of them are from my own experience and
Sure,
authentic.
of course, of course.
Uh, when I saw this question for the first time, I went back as challenges, right? As teachers,
Mm-hmm.
struggles, challenges as teachers. I went back to my school teaching years when I found it really challenging at times to keep my young learners engaged and involved into the lessons. That was
Yes.
really something. And the younger they were, the more difficult I found it to engage with
Mm-hmm.
them. And I know it's here, it's never the learner's fault. It's never the young learner's fault. It's just the teacher that has to be really prepared and trained to know how to deal in those kind of situations,
Mm-hmm.
which I wasn't. I didn't have the needed preparation and training when I started teaching to know how to deal with young learners. And the more I learned how to deal with them, and the more successful I became in gaining them, uh, engaging them, the more I
I see.
realized it's
Mm-hmm.
not really one of the uh, one of my passions.
I see.
I enjoy it,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't find myself being at my best there, because I think to to be able to fully engage with young learners, you need to be a very playful personality. That's what I think.
Okay, thank you very
And
much,
I
Marina.
started to feel more and more comfortable teaching in classrooms when the age increased.
I see. I understand. Thank you. It's about that. Yeah, I totally agree. Your ideas about that, the
and that was
challenging
the most
aspects.
challenging, right? The most challenging aspect.
Yes, that was the
teaching,
most challenging. You are right.
Keeping the students engaged, and I found it most difficult to keep the youngest one.
I see. Thank you. And my next question is again related with your teaching again. So, what aspects of your teaching have changed by gaining experience in teaching?
As I gained experience in teaching, and it started with young learners, that's where my first years were with young learners, and then growing, increasing their age, the age level, I've learned to become more relaxed, more flexible, and to listen more. I've learned the importance of really listening and not to be listened, not just to be listened. I've learned that if I want to be listened, sometimes I really need to stop and to listen to my students' needs and to observe them and to make them feel that they are really listened and cared about. And that was a turning point in my teaching.
It's a wonderful one. Thank you. Yes, listening is really important,
and
especially with the young
empathizing with your students, and observing them, be able to learn from them without really asking them. See what, and try different things, try different activities, try different teaching strategies, approaches, and just see what they react better to, what appeals more to them.
I see. Thank you very much. Thank you, Marina, about that. The things that especially it's really, I mean, a very interesting and very important point you talk about it. The listening is really important with the young kids, really. Thank you. All right, so I'm sure that people always ask you about your, okay, Marina teacher, can you tell us about your good or teaching experiences or something that you have a very great moments in your teaching experiences in your career? But this time I'm going to ask you the vice versa. Can you tell us one of your bad teaching experiences in your career?
Experience. Okay, I go back. I go back again to kindergarten, because that was my starting point, and that was really a shock for me. But I didn't run away. I didn't run away from teaching. I went. I learned more. I studied more. It was my worst experience. Was my first day teaching in kindergarten. I was not really prepared for that. I kind of knew, but I said, okay, let's try it. Let's try it. And it was in Turkey. Of course, it was in Turkey. And it was when I recently came to Turkey. And my Turkish language was very close to zero level, to under beginner level, if I can say it like this. I was a real beginner in Turkish. And those kids around me, they were very young, 3 years old. The only language I knew was English. Of course, they didn't know English. They were not able to understand me in English. And I just didn't know what to do. I was supposed I would just show them the book, read the story. And then I saw in the first 5 minutes, it was crystal clear that it won't work. So I just put the book aside, sat down on the floor, and I just tried to play with their toys and explain and just try some games. And
I see.
But it was really difficult at those moments. And then it came more and more naturally to me. And when I really felt comfortable, I left for secondary.
I see. Thank you
and
very
then
much
it became challenging again. But
challenging.
I think because when you say the worst experience, bad experiences, there is always something valuable there. Because from all these experiences that I wouldn't call them bad experiences, I would call them some moments that challenge me, force me to push my limits and to learn something from there. and to
I see.
make choices. Go ahead, improve, do something, or give up on it, find something else.
I
So
see.
all these moments when you feel tested, challenged, are actually some lessons that you need to look for and learn something for.
Definitely. Thank you very much, Marina, for this bad experience, by the way. Thank you very much. But I'm sure that it's really great that you still remember that experience in your kindergarten moment. And
Yeah, it
I'm
didn't
sure
make
that,
me run away from teaching. It
yeah,
kept me looking for
looking
improving and
for. Mm-hmm.
finding
Thank
my
you.
right niche in teaching. Definitely it's
Mm-hmm.
not young learners.
Nice one. All right, so let me ask you another question. This question is also again related with the students in your classes. So I'm sure that we have a lot of the good students in our classes, but sometimes there are also weak students in our class. So how do you involve your weaker students in your class or in your lessons?
Of course, I had plenty of these kind of students. Um, and at some point, I realized that it wasn't really helping me trying to approach them and push them in the classroom. That kind of pushing. When you push, what happens? Resistance comes. So I was just trying to find a way to approach them. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and I tried to approach them at recess, at break times, to come closer to them. I tried to speak Turkish language because in the classroom, I wasn't allowed to speak Turkish language, just English according to the school policy. And
Mm-hmm.
also, it that my Turkish was also not that good at those moments, at those times. Um, but I was trying to learn more and more Turkish just to came closer and closer to them, to gain their trust. Um, and it really worked. Actually, at the moment I started doing it, it was like an experiment for me because I was reading about it. And that's what I found to work and to really get the students close to you, to make them like you, trust you, and then they will try to listen to you more. And
I
it
see.
really worked, and I was really surprised how it never failed me. The more time you invest in those students that
Mm-hmm.
seems to be the problematic ones, the key is the way to their heart. Try to win
I
them on
see.
their side, try to spend time with them, try to make them feel valued, listened to, and it works later on. They were always coming
Mm-hmm.
at break times after me. At, in the lessons also, they were calling me, trying. These times they were trying to ask for more help than
I
trying
see.
to find a way to escape and doing naughty things. And also that was what I was doing at the student level,
Mm-hmm.
um, with a specific student, but also in the classroom. I was trying to build a mindset and to make the students aware of how important it is to cooperate and to
Mm-hmm.
sustain each other and to help those who might not really master English at those levels and not be as.
I see. I see. Thank you. Thank you very much, Marina, about this information that you gave and how do you involve the weak students. We really try to get them to do lessons. Otherwise, we have a chance to lose them inside the classroom. So we try to do our best. We try to do different techniques or different approach, as you mentioned, to make them involve into the classroom with
Yeah,
our
and not
students.
just that you risk to lose them, but you risk later on the problem to escalate, to destroy all the
Mm-hmm.
lessons and to affect
I
also the
see.
other learners that
I see.
are
Okay,
already engaged and willing to learn. Yeah.
definitely. Thank you very much, Marina. Okay, so let's move another question, which is really, it's a kind of a funny question, but I'm really wondering what are you going to say about the question. So, can you tell us 5 adjectives that describe an effective language teacher?
Okay, can I read the ones that I wrote?
Sure, whatever you want, no
Let me
problem.
find. Okay. So I started like this. It has to be passionate because
Okay,
passion
passionate.
helps you move ahead in the most difficult moments. when you might want to run away, your passion would still whisper you, try another way, try another way. Don't give up. So passionate. Then committed to his own professional development, to constantly improve his own language knowledge and pedagogical skills. Because teachers, I strongly believe that they need to master the subject they are teaching, or to try to master it, to get better and better at it, and the pedagogical knowledge.
I see.
And skills. So that was committed, right? After passionate, it was committed. Then,
two. The third one.
Then dedicated
All right.
Learners.
Definitely.
Then a technology whiz.
Yeah, the fourth one is technology whiz. All right.
Yes, to be up to date with technology. We like it, we don't like it. It's part of our life. We have to learn how to use its facilities into our advantages, right? And the learners' advantages.
Definitely.
So technology ways, that was number 4. 5.
And the last one.
Five.
Yes.
Brave. To extend this, brave to try new approaches that he resonate with, because this is a very important condition. Don't try everything you hear around without really filtering it. Do I really resonate with it? Does it really make sense for me? And if the answer is yes, then move to the next question. Don't implement it. Does it really help my learners? How can I implement it in a way that my learners could take the best of it?
I see. Thank you very much for this 5 great adjectives, Marina. Thank you. Nice adjectives, and very important, and very, the important that the language teacher should have them, especially the technology one. Definitely we should have them, especially these days. It's really important.
It's the new learning environment now.
Definitely.
More and more.
Definitely. All right. So there is another interesting question for you, Marina. I really don't know if you have any answers of this question or not, but I'm gonna ask. What's the most interesting questions you have ever faced, or you have ever been asked by a student or a teacher in the classroom or webinar or seminar?
You know, Volkan, I've been really thinking about it, really thinking. I'm sorry, I just couldn't pick up one. I just couldn't find one to say, okay, that is it. But the only thing that I know for sure is that the most astonishing questions were in my lessons with the young learners. There I had lots of moments of, oh my God, how could you come with this question? This is a very smart question. They always challenge me.
Yeah, definitely. They're really different, the thinking, the process.
Yes, somehow I feel that we are actually limiting their creativity, their thinking. I'm sad sometimes to realize, and I was sad in the classroom, to realize that instead of stimulating creative thinking, we are actually limiting them. Because I realized how limited I myself came to become at some points, and I just couldn't see those kind of questions or connections that they were making. It's really they have a wonderful way of thinking, and we are not really building on it, encouraging it.
I see. All right. Thank you, Marina. So let's move to another question then. And this is a very also interesting questions. I hope you're not going to be so, you will face difficult times to explain it. So have you ever faced a very difficult word to explain to the students during the lesson? What was it, and how did you explain?
Yeah, I love this question. And I was thinking a lot about it. I had plenty of moments when it was really difficult for me to explain some words, some concepts, and especially that I didn't have the same mother tongue with my students. And okay, we know that translation is doesn't always apply one-to-one translation. But in lots of moments it saves you. Just give the translation and move ahead. But I wasn't able to give the translation even though I wanted at some moments. And then I was trying to give a definition of the term or of the concept, a simple, an easier definition using easier vocabulary, English vocabulary. Or I was trying to ask for help from other learners who were better at English and were able to explain in Turkish for their peers. And actually the first one that it's when translation doesn't work, it's images. That's the first flashcards, images. There are plenty of images that could, you just look for 1 second at the image, you got the term, the idea. And when you don't have flashcards, the paper ones, I was lucky to always have a smartboard. Google images, Google images.
Yeah, you can find lots of images there. You're right.
And also suggestive images, mime the term. I also wrote something here because I really speak something else that I didn't write here.
No problem.
Okay, so I wrote like this: express the term or the concept using low-level English vocabulary. Use the term in different related contexts. This is also very important because if the learner,
contextualizing is important.
If in one sentence, if in one sentence the learner knows 5 words but doesn't know 2 or 3 of them, it can work out the meaning of the other words just by putting the new word in the right context.
I see.
And also, okay, you explain, you kind of show the images. You think you've done your job, you taught them something, you think, you gave them the definition, the explanation, but did the students really got it? Did they really understand it? So at that point, you ask concept checking questions to make sure that they got it.
Exactly. I got it. Thank you very much for
the
way that you give them students the best explanation about the word, because sometimes we really face a really difficult word, as you mentioned, to explain to the students at that point, because sometimes suddenly we faced, or sometimes one of the students can ask us really interesting word to what's the meaning of blah blah, or what's that meaning in this term. So sometimes you face difficulties, but you gave really nice explanation or samples to explain the words. Thank you, Marina.
And sometimes you don't even have the equivalent, the translation equivalent, Turkish, English. Sometimes you don't have an equivalent word for that one. You just have to explain the concept, the idea, give examples.
Exactly. Thank you very much. All right, so let's move to another question. Okay, so my next question again is related with the classroom. So if you could have one superpower to use in the classroom, what would it be and how would it help?
To engage all my students, no matter what, to find that magic formula to engage them. Because sometimes I was really spending nights planning, creating materials, even cutting, pasting, researching, doing lots of things just to make sure to do my best to have an engaging and fun lessons, and also useful, so that I make sure that effective learning happens also.
Yes.
But it was not always the way I dream about and worked for.
I see. By the way, there is a question. Can you see it? In which section do you teach? Primary, secondary, or high school?
Now I'm teaching adults online. They are learning English for business purposes. So adults now. But I taught kindergarten, primary, and high school. And also at language schools, adults for IELTS. And so I taught at all levels. Now I'm teaching just adults, as I finally learn where I can be at my best. And I can feel at my best.
I see. Thank you very much. Thank you for the question.
Yeah, thank you. Really
Lingua. Yes. And let's move to another question then. All right. So what do you find most frustrating and rewarding about teaching and learning?
Most frustrating, this is it, what I mentioned before, when you really spend a lot of time and energy and you put everything into creating that lesson plans and materials and activities. You put everything, your heart, your mind, everything you have there, and then you go and you see 2, 3, 4 students that
Mm-hmm.
didn't really get it the way you were hoping to, even though you work hard also with them in mind. So for me those were really hard moments, and are, because it can happen, and it's not always about how well prepared you are. It's also about how well uh, the receiver is prepared to receive the person
I see.
at the other hand. And the most rewarding is, of course, when you see your students, your learners engaged, active, and when you see them, when you observe them a long time, and you see that when you witness their own progress.
I see. Thank
That
you. Yeah,
really
that's
fills my
really
heart,
important.
and
I'm totally agree with you that the production, when you see that they produce something, it makes you happy about
yeah,
it. All
yeah.
right.
Yeah, and
Thank you very much.
and especially when you notice that 1 month ago he was struggling with this, but now look, he finally got it. He finally got it. And he's
Exactly.
even trying, he's brave enough now to try new structures with
Mm-hmm.
the language.
I see. Thank you. Thank you, Marina. So let's move another question. So I'm sure that you have read lots of things about ELT or about teaching language or learning a new language. So what can you suggest us to read about ELT, about
About
English
ELT,
language teaching? Yes.
okay. About ELT, I would start with what I wish uh, I had been taught as a learner. And because I wasn't taught like that, I'm struggling now to learn it for myself first. It's how to teach pronunciation. But while I'm trying to learn how to teach pronunciation and improve the way I'm teaching it, I must
Mm-hmm.
confess I'm learning it also about myself um as a non-native English teacher. We
I
we
see.
must we need to work on our own language, on the way we speak English
I
ourselves.
see.
So
Uh-huh.
this is something,
Mm-hmm. How to pronounce.
uh,
All right.
how to
Good.
teach pronunciation, yes. And also I have this in printed version. It looks kind of like this.
I see. Principles, language, learners, and
You're familiar,
teaching.
principles of language learning and teaching. Language learning and you have it. You have the original.
I think this, no,
It's,
just let me find. Oh,
yeah, I
yes,
could
from
find it.
Brown. You mean this one?
Yes. Oh, can we
I
switch?
have it
Can
here.
we switch? Can we swap them, please?
Ah, I'm sorry, no.
Please, please. I have them in
From
PDF,
yeah.
but
Thanks to the Douglas Brown from
yes,
Longman. Yeah,
yes,
from Longman. Yeah, thanks to do it. It's really great book to
yeah,
read it. You
yeah.
can
And
really
I need to go
read
back
this
and
book.
read it again. I need
Yeah,
to go
here.
back and read it
Sure.
and
All
reread
right.
and reread. And
All right.
I also have, these are not related to ELT language, but as teachers, I don't think we need to focus just on the language itself, just on the subject
Mm-hmm.
itself, but also on the pedagogy part. And what I found really useful is this one. Uh, Working with emotional intelligence.
That's really
Daniel
important. Uh-huh.
Goleman, working with
Mm-hmm.
intelligence, working with emotional intelligence. Why?
Uh-huh.
Why? Because you have to deal. First of all, you need to learn about your own emotions, how
Mm-hmm.
to learn how to control them and not to be overwhelmed by them. Right? We all have those bad moments when no matter how bad you feel, you still need and show up in front of learners and do your best there.
I
And
see.
that's one. And the
Mm-hmm.
second, we all are dealing at moments with different kind of behaviors. And where does that behavior come? Certainly from an emotion that
I
the
see.
student has.
Mm-hmm.
So I really find this very useful. And also, while I was trying to learn my students English at school, I learned that I also need to learn how to speak in a way that they can understand me. So
Oh,
this is
that's
a book,
really
How to Talk So Kids Can Learn at Home and at School.
great,
And
great
it really,
book,
yeah,
really.
and it really has great examples, and it
Wow.
helped me, and it helped me.
Yeah, who
This
is
is
the writer?
actually the writer, I don't, Adel Faber and Elaine Maslish, I think.
I see. Okay. And if it's possible, can you just take photos of that books and send to me so I can share them
Sure,
in
sure,
my
sure, sure.
account so our audiences can listen or sorry can check them. Maybe they would
I would
like to get
definitely,
them. It's
because
really
these are
interesting
the
book.
books that really helped me in my early teaching careers with young learners. They helped me a lot.
All right. Thank you. Do you have more or that's all?
That's all. And
All
actually,
right.
I realized I took this in the last moments. I realized, why am I focusing just on ELT when actually my best success moments and
Uh-huh.
at school were actually coming from this kind of readings.
Really,
Actually,
really
I
great.
know it was not this or this, it was the combination of everything.
Uh-huh. Combine of it. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Marina. Thank you. By the way, just a couple questions, not only couple, two, because the time flies, it's almost,
Yes.
the coming end of the session. It's almost coming the end of the session. So let me
You're
move to the
right, time
question.
flies. You're right, time
Yeah,
flies.
exactly. So let me ask you the next question. And what do you think are the key skills we will need in the future?
Key skills as teachers.
Yes.
Um, okay. Um, not just the professional skills, right? Not just
Sure, sure.
language,
Not only
teaching,
professional. Uh-huh.
pedagogical skills. Technology. I really think we need to add to our tech and develop our technological skills and our own resilience. And when
That's
I say
important.
resilience and grit, to be able to overcome some least pleasing or let's say failures, to overcome them easier and faster,
I see.
to move ahead, because we often feel affected by different things. And this is what I personally found it more challenging to work on: my own
Uh-huh.
resilience, my own grit. And and then also related to the online environment, teaching as a teacher who want to become independent freelancer, you need to learn new skills such as content creation, showing up in front of camera, public speaking.
Especially great. So you're making that one now, the public speech. Yeah, kind of in front of me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
overcoming
great.
your own fears.
Yeah, definitely. All right. So would you like to add anything else or that's all, Marina?
No,
Okay.
and usually also what we would like to see in our learners or in our own kids, for example, critical thinking, creativity.
Definitely. We also need that let's say 21st century skills and kind of things. I see. Thank you very much, Marina. So let's move to the next question. So it's about the websites that you are using. Actually, we all actually as a teachers we all go that website or this website to use for our lessons. So what are your favorite 3 websites to suggest to use in teaching or learning?
Um, when I was teaching English at school, I used ISL Collective, I think it's the name. I love that
Yeah,
website
ISL
for the
Collective. Yeah, we all
worksheets,
love.
for the videos, for ISL Collectives. Um, and the most common one, British Council, Cambridge. And I used lots of other websites, but now, sorry, that I don't have them in my mind.
I see. I can understand. No
It's
problem. It's okay.
are there any websites that you would like to share, you think?
No, we're just using the British Council page, or as you mentioned, that ISA Collective, or there are lots of, as you mentioned, like the Cambridge University, I mean, like the websites or Oxford University Press. We can use it. There are lots of materials like Twinkle. That's really I like it. Twinkle, yeah, Twinkle. I'm sure that most of the teachers know that site. It's really, really, you know, the famous. They have excellent materials. I'm gonna write the names. Don't worry, I will write some of their names at the end of the end of the session. All right. So here is the last question. Okay, ready for it? The time flies, and we are in the last question now. Exactly, I told you that about it. So the most difficult question. Here it comes. What is your motto?
Well, oh, I have plenty of them, and I post them everywhere. I have looked; they're on my desk. They're everywhere, everywhere. But my favorite one is small, daily, seemingly insignificant improvements, when done consistently in time, yield staggering results. Small, daily, seemingly insignificant results, when done consistently in time, yield staggering results. So I always feel the need to come back to this and to remind myself, because I'm a perfectionist. I want it now and perfect, fast and perfect, which to me it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. I have to work more and more. And
I see.
Everything is figure outable. Everything that you really want to find out, you can find it out.
I see. Thank you. Thank you very much for this nice motto, Marina. All right then. That's all. All my questions, Marina, and we are almost coming end of our session. So before we ending our sessions, would you like to add anything else?
Could I ask you also one question?
Would you like it? Okay, so go for it. If I can answer it. All right.
I'm really curious about, and I would really love to know, how did Teachers Talk start? What is the story behind it?
It's a really, it's really, I mean, it's a long time ago. I was thinking this for a long time. Actually, I gave this question answer on the previous sessions. Many times, I think, couple times, I answered these questions, but no problem. I'll answer it again.
I watched the last one, but not at the end. It's true.
Yeah, no problem. So the thing is that actually I was planning to do this before. I was just thinking that, okay, so everybody is doing something, so why I'm not doing it? So when the pandemic started, you know, we were all at home and just sitting or just doing our online lessons, and that's all. And then I was thinking, okay, this is a chance to do it. Why I'm not doing it? So I would like to become the teachers from around the world and give a chance to talk and share their ideas
and bringing us together. This is a great
explain what they want to say and share their experiences with the other teachers all around the world. And then I said, okay, I will start it. And I was, started thinking the name thanks to my wife. She found the name. Okay, why don't you say Teacher Talks? And I said, all right, great. It's a great name. And I started like this, and now it's been 73 weeks,
and you manage to do it every week, right?
Yes. Every Monday it becomes a kind of, people, I think, memorize it, and they know that, okay, every Monday at 9 p.m. Turkish time, of course, because times change for the different countries. There is a teacher talks by Volkan Iner. Exactly. And I really care also. There's a nice word Azra shared here, and like sharing is caring. I always, I always like this phrase, sharing is caring. So I try to give a chance to the teachers. This is not like sometimes it's not like this. I try to choose sometimes educators, really good educators, teacher trainers. I try to, to become here and to share their ideas with the other teachers. And then it's a really great opportunity for us also to listen them, because sometimes we cannot, they have a chance to listen them, or we cannot find them easily wherever we want.
Exactly. I wouldn't have known about the wonderful people that I saw in your interviews.
Yeah. There are
So
many. There are many.
thanks to you, I had access to their experience, their learning experience, their teaching experience, and it helped. It really helped
And
listening.
exactly. Exactly. I try to do that. And that's all. And now I'm still doing it. And I think I'm gonna do it until the 100th session. And then I have different plans. I'm not gonna tell my plans here. They are
Okay,
secret.
keep in touch
You will
then.
see it.
Keep in touch.
Okay then. So
Okay.
all right. That's all from everything and from Teacher Talk 73 also. And Marina Carmen Özer was with us. She shared her experiences and her ideas, her suggestions with us. And it was a really joyful sessions. Especially she shared her precious time here with us. And that's all. And until next time, take care of yourselves. And good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. We are going to be here again on Monday at 9 o'clock. Until that time, take care of yourself one more time. And peace, everybody. And bye bye. Bye bye,
Thank
Marina.
you. Thanks, everyone. Thanks a
Thank you
lot.
very much again.
Thank you.
Bye bye.